Today we have an interesting topic to bring to you.
The fact of the matter is that most of the fixes to problems are cheap and simple, and we don't even realize it. And sometimes, choosing a slightly complicated approach can lead to unintended consequences.
Exactly. In the mid-19th century, more and more mothers kept dying from childbirth, and in 1847, 1 out of every 6 mothers died from childbirth.
A Hungarian doctor named Ignaz Semmelweis made several predictions as to why the death rate was so high. He even collected and analyzed data that compared the death rate of mothers in a doctor's ward and a midwife's ward.
The death rate of the mothers in the midwife's ward was significantly less than that of the doctor's ward, which made absolutely no sense initially.
Despite the answer finally came to him when one of Semmelweis' favorite professors died. He was leading a student through an autopsy, and the student's knife fell and cut the professor's finger. The sicknesses he suffered before dying were similar to the ones the women suffered when they got sick during childbirth. And finally, Semmelweis came to the answer.
Doctors and students often went straight to the maternity ward from the autopsy table with a quick washing of their hands, causing the germs to transfer to the women giving birth.
Although it's from a long time ago, this is a perfect example of how solutions to problems are not always extremely complicated. Washing one's hands is extremely efficient and easy to do.
Another health-related example is the invention of forceps, which allowed a doctor and midwife to turn a baby while still inside the uterus and pull it out head first.
They were a cheap and efficient tool to use. However, the inventor Peter Chamberlain kept it a secret for a while. Peter Chamberlain was a London obstetrician, and he only shared it with some people in his family, since the forceps worked so well. Forceps were not introduced to the general population until the mid-18th century.
The forceps would have greatly reduced the opportunity cost of the hospitals, as they saved time for the doctors who were operating. Furthermore, they increased the marginal product of labor of the doctors, who could care for more patients. Another historical example is the agricultural revolution. From the start of the Common Era to about 1750, the population growth worried everyone because they were afraid of famine and not having enough resources to support the population.
However, with the agricultural revolution, many inventions in the field of agriculture allowed more food to be produced to sustain the population.
In addition, the inventions were not particularly complicated either, and the new tools that were invented tremendously increased the efficiency of the farmers, thus shifting their production possibilities curve outward.
It also reduced the time or opportunity cost associated with farming and increased the marginal product of labor, as each farmer could produce more food. Another example involves the whale. Every part of the whale could be used for something, and the most valuable item was whale oil. Thus, the demand for whales was extremely high.
However, eventually, the population of whales began to decline, and utilizing the whales for so many resources became a problem.
A miracle came quickly, however, when a retired railwayman named Edwin L. Drake struck oil in Titusville, Pennsylvania. This not only saved the whales from extinction, but it has also led us to where we are today.
Speaking of the near extinction of whales, the original Endangered Species Act actually further decreased the population of animals to a point where they were nearing extinction. Landowners that felt that their land would attract endangered species would cut all of the trees down to make it seem less attractive, and this negative side effect may have actually led the law to do the opposite of what it was supposed to do.
However, the quick fix striking oil really helped prevent the extinction of whales.
Moving to a new topic, by the early 1950s, automobiles had become extremely popular in the United States. However, the death rate in the cars was extremely high, with nearly 40,000 people dying in the U.S. traffic accidents in 1950.
A man named Robert McNamara, a Harvard Business School graduate, was determined to fix the rate. He did several experiments to determine the best way of preventing accidents.
He determined that the fix was extremely easy. Rather than worrying about what a passenger's head would hit, he determined that it would be better to just prevent the passenger from being flung at all. Thus, the seatbelt was invented.
The seatbelt was a quick fix to the problem, and it was cheap to install. Thus, the opportunity cost associated with it was quite low.
Through these examples, we see that these simple fixes are both cheaper and more effective.
They also have the potential to greatly reduce the opportunity cost and expand the production possibility frontier, and increase the marginal product of labor.
Thanks for tuning in today. Stay efficient, Charlottesville.